Today we begin with a story that you very likely have heard us share on Success Power. It's the story of a doctor who took a kettle and a paddle and a small note that had a formula for a drink. He jumped on his horse and went downtown to a pharmaceutical shop. He met a store clerk and he sold the kettle, the paddle, and the secret formula on a sheet of paper to the store clerk for $500. The store clerk began to mix the drink, in the kettle, and he began to offer it for sale to his customers. But somewhere along the line, something changed, and it changed dramatically, because the store clerk began to sell the drink in large containers, out in public places. And then from there on, there was no stopping the development of the production of this drink. Today, this drink is known worldwide. It sustains massive sugar plantations around the world. It sustains the glass industry. It provides employment for thousands of people in so many countries all over the world. I mean, literally, what was bought for just $500 has become an industry that is worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Well, the name of the store clerk was Asa Candler, and the drink, and by now I suspect you have guessed what it is. It's Coca-Cola. And the big question for us is, what was it that the store clerk added to the kettle, the paddle, and the formula that the doctor had not added before? Well, I'm discussing with us just a few thoughts from my book, Ideas Rule the World. The one thing that the store clerk added to all of the things that he bought for $500 was an idea at first, and then several other ideas, and that has been the foundation for the growth and the impact of the development of Coca-Cola as a drink. So let's discuss the power of ideas. Let me read the first paragraph from the introduction of this book. Man was created in the image of God. Part of this image is the ability to create, to design, and to construct. God put his creativity on display in the story of creation. The earth was empty and had no form. Darkness covered the ocean. In the natural world, things were really bad, but God had an idea. Beyond the chaos, he saw order and beauty. He saw plants, animals, rivers, oceans, mountains, and the crown of his creation, man. God constructed what he saw in his mind, and it turned out to be very beautiful. Now, this is very important for us to note. In the biblical account of creation, God created our world. To create means to bring into existence something that has not been in existence before. And the important thing also in the biblical account of creation is the fact that man was created in the image of God. So if our first introduction to God is that of creativity, it's about his creative ability, then we also as human beings must appreciate the fact that we have creative power. We have the power to bring into existence things that have never existed before. If we activate this power, I believe that it then becomes impossible for us, literally, to fail. If we unleash our potential to create, to bring into existence things that never existed before, we cannot be stopped. Success becomes realizable. In fact, life becomes exciting. Problems become opportunities for us just to unleash our creative ability. That was exactly what happened when God created the world. Because the biblical account says that the earth was without form and void, and darkness covered the face of the deep. Okay, there was literally chaos. Things were dark, bleak, disorganized. And then we hear that God said, "Let there be light." Now, that for me is very interesting. If everything was dark, why was he talking about light? Obviously, he saw beyond the physical reality. In his mind, he had pictures, he had dreams. He was seeing oceans, he was seeing land, he was seeing clouds, he was seeing plants and animals, okay? He was seeing whales in the oceans, and he saw man. So we hear that God said, "Let there be light." So it does mean that our lives do not have to be controlled permanently by our physical realities, that we also can rely on this powerful equipment that God has put in us, the mind and the imagination. We can activate them and create a new order, create a new world for ourselves. Out of chaos, we can create beauty. Out of poverty, we can create abundance. The key word is the word thought or idea. Okay, so God brought out ideas, mixed them with the water and with the soil, and then what we had as a result was beauty. We have resources around us. We have the plants, the animals, we have the soil, we have the gases, but what determines what they turn out to be are our ideas. Listen, thoughts are powerful. Our thoughts are powerful. Our thoughts control our lives. And since for thousands of years now, man has been unleashing his creativity. Someone said that the greatest minefield in the world, the greatest deposits, mineral deposits of the world are in the human mind. The greatest measure of wealth that man has ever been able to uncover has been uncovered from the human mind. Thoughts are powerful. Ideas can change your world. The quality of your ideas literally determine the quality of your world and the beauty of your world. Look around you, really. Everything that has value existed first as an idea in somebody's mind before it became a reality. Everything that man has created that has value existed first as an idea in somebody's mind. The first thing I'd like to say to you, and which I want you to really appreciate, dear viewer, is the fact that you are a co-creator with God. You have the capacity to bring into existence things that never existed before. Right here in the room where I am, there are things that once never existed. In fact, did not even cross anybody's mind. Like the camera, like the lights, like the TV set, okay, the water dispenser, okay. There are a number of things here. The air conditioner or the air conditioning system, light bulbs. These are things which at a particular point in time in the past never existed at all. They were created. They were invented. So let me say this to you, that you have the capacity to bring into existence in this world things that never existed before. And as long as you have the power to do that, we can never call you poor. So, you were not designed to be stranded by any particular situation. You were designed to be an inventor, to be a creator, to be an innovator. Okay? You can always find a way. You can create beauty out of the chaos of your life right now. And your key to doing that are the ideas that flow through your mind. I usually like to say that God only started creation. He did not finish the job, because he had created a new set of beings, okay, who were created in his image, who would have the capacity also to create and to invent. So, God created the cotton in the field. He did not make shirts. God created apples. He did not create apple juice. Okay? God created trees. He did not build beds. He did not make chairs. He left all of that for us. Alright? He left all of that to us. He put all of the raw materials out there in the soil and around the surface of the earth, waiting for us to bring out the things that he had invested in them. He put our chairs in trees and some of our beds. Okay, if your shirt is rayon, it's a byproduct of crude oil. Can you imagine? God in his creativity hid some of your shirts in crude oil. The plastic materials that we use, some of them are products of crude oil. Okay, and there are still so many things hidden in nature that we have not even discovered at all. All of them are waiting for the quality ideas that will come through our minds. Because ultimately, our world shapes itself after our ideas. It's not difficult to create wealth. May I even emphasize first on wealth creation. Wealth is created. Okay? Some people wish for money. For some people, money is something that they just come by somewhere along the line. You see, the people who really control our world are the ones who control our thinking. And they know that money flows in the direction of ideas. Because ultimately, you will attract the material equivalent of your most dominant thoughts. You are literally what you think. You will attract into your life or become exactly what you are thinking about. When you change your thinking, you can literally change your life. So, we can create. You can create. You can invent. Wealth is created. Whoever created the laptop that I have on this table would get money in exchange for the laptop. That's the point. So what we create is what we sell. If we are able to create things that solve problems for people, meet needs in people's lives, add value to people's lives, that's the point. We started with the story of Coca-Cola. It's a refreshing drink. Or at least that's the idea that is sold along with it. Okay? It has some good. All of us have the picture in our minds that we feel refreshed and happy when we take it. Anything that you create that meets a need, either need for food or the need for thirst in somebody's life, or the need for clothing, or the need for love, or the need for esteem, or the need for information. You may be solving the problem of ignorance. You may be solving the problem of nakedness or thirst or hunger or the need for transportation, whatever it is. If you can come up with a thought, with an idea that will solve a problem for someone, you're getting money in exchange. We've explained before on Success Power that money is only a means of exchange of value. So once you can create things that have value, that will meet needs in people's lives. They may be products, they may be services. Money will come in your direction. I've heard business people say that the poor man is not the one who does not have money. He is the one who does not have ideas. That's what they say. That's what they say. Intangible resources are more powerful than the tangible ones that we have. Everything begins first from the state of thought. It is ideas that rule our world. It is through the power of ideas that will rule our world. The people who don't think will always serve those who do in our world, because it is the quality of your thoughts that determine the level of your dominion and mastery on this planet. So please remember, our world was created with thoughts right from the scratch, and our world till today is controlled by thoughts. Our world is created by thoughts. Your own world is created by your thoughts. The quality of ideas that flow through your heart and mind will determine literally the quality of your life. So, you've got to think. You have to be committed to thinking, because thinking is creating. Thinking is inventing. Thinking is the foundation for problem solving. Problem solving is the quickest route to gaining leadership in any area of life. You must be a committed thinker. One of my mentors said, if you don't think, you will stink. It's either you are thinking or you are stinking. You can't stand stagnant in your thoughts. Once you are stranded in your mind, you will be stranded in life. So you and I must be committed to think, and to think good quality thoughts. Remember, you are a creator, a co-creator with God. You have the power to bring into existence things that have never existed before. And if that is the truth, then you're not as poor as you think you are. That's if you have been thinking you've been poor. You are not a failure until you fail to try. And trying depends absolutely on your thinking. If what you thought yesterday did not work, you can think again. That's the good thing. So you and I are about to rule our world through our thoughts. Believe that you are a creator, that you can invent what has not been in existence before, that you can solve the problems confronting you the way you never solved them before. Secondly, realize now that you are a person of value. You can create some things, either products or services that will solve problems for someone, and that will create the foundation for your prosperity. Ideas rule our world. With ideas, you can rule your own world and rule in our world. We've been discussing today the power of ideas and the fact that ideas rule our world. In fact, we've just taken a few thoughts from my book titled Ideas Rule the World. And in fact, I'd like to encourage you to get a copy of this book, and more importantly, the audio version of Ideas Rule the World. See, the truth is, with the power of ideas, you literally create your own world. And the people who control our world are the ones who control the ideas that dominate our minds. You can learn how. And the audio CD, you can enjoy in your car, on your CD, download on your iPod, and just listen while you walk or while you travel, on the train, on the bus, wherever. And have your life transformed. Now remember, essentially what we have said today is the fact that in the biblical account of creation, the first introduction we have to God is the fact that He created. He is a creator. Secondly, we hear that the earth was without form, was chaotic, disorganized, ugly. But then we hear that God said, let there be light. So He had ideas for light while there was darkness, physically speaking. And the challenge for you and I, therefore, is that we should not accept our unfavorable circumstances as being final. Even the favorable ones, very soon, our world is designed for progress. Things will overtake where we are at the moment. We're not designed to be stagnant. So, and the place where you create a new world for yourself is in your mind. Since man was created in the image of God, you also have creative ability. Never accept your circumstances as being final. I challenge everyone, especially who lives in the developing part of the world, you must not accept your current circumstances as being final. We must not accept poverty, underdevelopment, mediocrity as being final. Never. It's us that have the power to create a new world, and that new world is created in our minds. Those of us who occupy leadership positions in our families, in organizations, businesses, and even in the political sphere, in the nation, either on the local council level or the state or even the federal level, we must realize that the place where people's lives change is in their minds. If we are to create new nations, create new orders, create beauty in our world, it has to begin from the quality of our ideas. Whatever goes into the mind comes out in their life. We are inventors, we are creators. Any nation can predict its future just by looking at the ideas that dominate the minds of its youth. Whatever goes into a mind comes out in a life. So, if we want to see a new country, a developed nation, a prosperous business, a prosperous family, it begins from the mind. Where there is no vision, people perish. We can never rise beyond the quality of our thoughts. So I challenge you, as you work on developing infrastructure, providing social welfare and benefits to people, please provide visions, dreams, good quality ideas that can stir people's minds up and provide a powerful educational system that can help people develop the quality to produce ideas. Anyone who does not attend to that may not be a good leader. A story of an architect and a structural engineer who had the task to fit a bigger lift into a building. See, the lift that was installed before had become grossly insufficient for the traffic. So the challenge was to fit in a bigger lift, and it was giving them some problems. So they were discussing that as they rode the lift down to the ground floor, and they were considering different options, different ways of going about it, and they couldn't seem to find a breakthrough idea. When they got to the ground floor and exited the lift, the cleaner or the janitor who had been with them in the lift and had listened to their conversation all through without saying anything, called for their attention and said, "Gentlemen, I heard you discussing about this issue of the lift and how to fit in a bigger lift here. And obviously it's difficult, since you would have to literally break down the building to be able to fit in a bigger lift here. But it just occurred to me, why don't you put the lift on the outside?" And it was like somebody turned on the light in the minds of the structural engineer and the architect. They had not thought about that at all, because one, it was not part of their training, it was not part of their experience. Every time they thought about putting in a lift, they could only think about putting the lift within the building. Nobody had thought until then that you could put a lift on the outside of the building. And the interesting thing, it was a janitor, okay, it was a cleaner who got the idea. And that was exactly what they did. They just added, the lift lot or loft to the main building, and that was it. Well, I don't know, but that looks literally like an example of thinking outside the box. Okay? See, experts tell us that if we want to succeed like others have not succeeded before, if we don't want to be stranded in our thinking, if we want to develop our capacity for solving problems, we've got to learn to think outside the box. it does seem like people have created or defined the parameters within which we should think if we will be able to get certain results or be able to solve certain problems. That's what education does. That's what tradition does for us. That's what our past experiences do to us. There may be experiences of failure, there may be experiences of success, but we tend to draw conclusions from our past experiences that there are certain limits beyond which we should not go. So we think inside the box. But then once in a while, the idea, breakthrough idea that could change everything for us, resolve complex issues for us, could come easily if only we would just decide to think in a completely different direction from which anybody else has thought before. Anyway, my emphasis today is on the fact that it was an idea, a thought that solved the problem for the architect and the engineer. And that's how thoughts can change your life. You see, that new stairwell began as a thought, as an idea. Who knows the breakthroughs? Who knows the progress, the increase, multiplication, promotion, enlargement? Who knows the resources, new dimensions of resources that could be at your disposal right now if only you could access some thoughts, some ideas. Ideas are powerful, and that's what we're discussing today. The power of ideas. And we're taking just a few thoughts from the book that I authored titled Ideas Rule the World. Let me read from chapter 3 of the book, the first paragraph. It says, ideas are spiritual seeds. Practically every experience that a man has can be described as a fruit. The average man eats the fruit and throws the seed away. The fleshly part of a fruit can be likened to our experience, but inside every experience is a seed, and the seed represents the principle that controls the experience. If you eat a fruit and throw the seed away, you cannot produce the fruit again. But if you keep the seed, you can reproduce the fruit as many times as you want. Okay, now this is important. The seed is one of the most sophisticated products that man has ever had to deal with. The fact that the seed literally controls the future. If I hold in my hand a mango seed and I plant it in the right soil at the right time, it grows into a mango tree. So all that while, the tree has been hiding in the seed. And it's not only one tree that's been hiding there, because after some time, the mango tree begins to bear fruit, and inside every fruit is a seed, which if planted will become a tree. Now, see, if I hold a seed in my hand, a mango seed controls soil at the right time, it grows into a tree. That tree bears fruit. Inside each fruit will be a seed, which if planted can become a tree. Okay, so the seed controls the whole experience. What I'm saying is, in life, if you want to be able to operate the law of cause and effect, you want to unleash your creative ability, you want to develop the power to make things happen, you need to value seeds. You need to recognize seeds, because we have different kinds of seeds in different areas of life. So, when you are able to hold the seed, you can recreate the experience. That's what I mean. You can eat a mango fruit and throw the seed away. However, if you take the seed, cultivate it, you can create the mango fruits that you will hear. The mango fruits that you will eat for several years down the line. So I have described in the book Ideas Rule the World the fact that our experiences are like seeds. You may hear somebody's story of how he created wealth. Exciting, powerful story. You may read a book. You may watch a documentary. However, will you be able to detect the things that created the experience? Because they are always within the story. Sometimes the experience that we're talking about may be a negative one. Someone may have abused you, may have been very harsh on you. Somebody in an authority position may have mistreated you. And you may come out of that experience and all that you have is bitterness. However, if you are not careful, the seed of that bitterness may have been sown in your heart, and you may go into the future bearing fruits of bitterness and giving exactly that experience to other people. Hating people, mistrusting people, abusing people. It does happen. These things come in cycles. I have decided to see ideas as seeds. Ideas are seeds. Anyone who gets ideas in our world can literally create things, can bring things into existence. Okay, let me refer to the biblical story of creation, where the first words that God spoke to the first man and woman were, "Be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth, rule over it, and have dominion." And it's still the same thing that I'm saying. Be fruitful. You can't be fruitful if you don't have seeds. Fruit grow out of seeds. So, ideas are seeds. Being fruitful is simply being productive, cultivating your seeds. We all know that for a human being to be conceived in the womb, there's got to be a seed, the semen from the man. Okay? So we have seeds. It's seeds that become human beings. And human beings then carry seeds in them that become other human beings. So when we hear be fruitful, we need to think about it in a very broad sense. If I have orange seeds in my hand, I can be fruitful. I can produce orange trees and more orange fruit and seeds. Okay, if I have guava seeds in my hands, I can reproduce many more guava fruits just by cultivating the seeds and growing the trees. The same thing with animals. Animals have seeds in them. It's those seeds that reproduce other animals. When you have access to seeds, you have found the thing that controls the whole experience, and it gives you the power to control life. Now, in the last episode, I was talking about the fact that wealth is created. That when we create products or services that add value to people, that solve problems for people, we get money in exchange. Our wealth is tied to our ability to create products and services and to offer them to solve problems for people. Our wealth is tied. That's why the first man and woman had the instruction from God, be fruitful, and then you will multiply. And then you will replenish the earth. And then he says you will subdue it, overcome it, and have dominion. Now think about it. When someone invents a thing, we say that that thing is the person's brainchild. Yes. So it means that humans have for a long time acknowledged the fact that brains give birth to children. The value of your brain children determine the measure of your wealth. Once again, just look around you in the room where you are. There is nothing there that has value that man created that did not begin as an idea in somebody's mind. So, when we therefore enjoy people's brain children, we give them money in exchange. I didn't get my laptop for free. I gave money in exchange for it. I don't get my shoes and my shirts for free. I give money in exchange for them. Most people don't get their cars for free. Yes, somebody can give you a car for free, but for the most part, the manufacturers don't give the cars out for free. They sell them. You give money in exchange. Each new model of a car is somebody's brainchild. And because it has value and it will solve the problem of transportation, somebody's got to pay for it. The question I want to ask you today is, certainly you've been enjoying other people's brainchildren. Where are yours? God has put an equipment in you that is called the brain. And its assignment is to create ideas, to produce ideas for you. Okay? So your brain is a seed generating equipment. And the seed we're talking about is the idea. Ideas are seeds. And just like the person who has seeds, if he cultivates the seeds, will eventually have a harvest. That's exactly the same with somebody who has an idea. Now, it doesn't matter if your idea is positive or negative. If you hold that idea long enough in your heart and mind and you pursue it long enough, it will create a harvest in your life. It literally creates your future. But now, certainly, we are talking about positive ideas here. God has given you this powerful equipment. You've got to use it. Ideas are seeds. Let me pick a few more thoughts from the book. Now, I'm reading from page 34, the last paragraph. It says, those who do not generate ideas will always have to serve those who do, because we only rise to the level of our idea. Seek to become an idea generator yourself. The best workers I have found around are those who have built their minds or cultivated their imaginations to produce ideas for themselves. I have found out that those who produce ideas never lose hope. Their minds keep producing ideas in the jobs they are given to do. We need more of such people who are not just seeking jobs but can create jobs for others. If you see a man who has a productive mind, he creates more work than he himself can handle. Now that's powerful. You know, if you've been given a job to do, one of the most important dimensions to your job is the thinking part. When people don't think well, they don't work well. In some parts of the world, especially in the developing part of the world, thoughts are not valued because they cannot be seen. Wealth is defined only by the tangible, by the material. Money is overvalued because the definition of money is the paper. But listen, in advanced parts of the world, where people have advanced in thinking, they have since discovered real money is value. You can't see value with your eyes, but you can recognize it with your mind. In fact, you can create it with your mind. So the major part of your job is the thinking part. If you don't win on paper, you're not likely to win in real life. It is ideas that control our lives. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. It's the thinking first. Then you literally become what you think. The material world around you will adjust itself along with your thinking. Therefore, planning becomes critical, very important, for you to sit down and to calculate how to turn your ideas into reality, the step-by-step points you've got to take to arrive at your destination. Okay? The best workers in any office are the thinkers. The best paid people are those who come up with the best ideas. You've got to be a problem solver. And the major equipment for solving problems is your mind. So, be a good thinker, a creative thinker, an innovative thinker. Be someone who can consider different possibilities, different options. Okay? We have to engage in strategic thinking, for example. What's the best way, the fastest way, which, however, should be the cheapest way to get the job done? So you find out that The best workers are those who are always thinking on their jobs, always thinking on the job, always solving the same problem in better ways. Everybody's got to be doing that with their jobs. Okay? I read a book many years ago titled, "Don't Do What I Ask You to Do." But I think what the author was trying to say was, don't let your brain go to sleep. The major part of work is mental work. Okay? And I realize sometimes people run away from mental work because it's more difficult than physical work. So, task your brain. Exert your brain. Get your brain to work. Even if it sweats, stretch it. Someone says, when an idea has stretched your mind never returns to its former size. Confront it. There's an exercise that Dr. Robert Schuller calls count to 10 and win. When he wants to solve a problem, he lists 10 possible solutions and then goes over them. If he has found the solution he's looking for, fine. If not, he starts the game again. Count to 10 and win. Listen, you don't break through until you break in. The most powerful breakthroughs you are looking for in life presently are lying within the range of your imagination, if you will devote time to think. The fact that all of us have the power to create and our major tool for creating anything in this world are thoughts, ideas. You can come to the point where you are not stranded in life anymore because you can get a creative idea to resolve whatever issue you come across. Your promotion and the money that you get are just simply rewards that you get in exchange for solving problems. Our emphasis today has also been on the fact that ideas are seeds, that ideas are the principles that control our experiences in life. When you develop the capacity to create ideas, you control literally the circumstances of your life. If ideas are seeds, they need to be cultivated, they need to be planted, they need to be acted on. And God has given us each a machine, the mind, that creates those seeds in our minds. You've got to create new ideas, solve problems like you never did before, and pursue the fulfillment of those ideas. Well, please remember that our discussion today has been from my book titled Ideas Rule the World. And Ideas Rule the World is now in an audio format. You can listen to it on the road, in your car, in the train, in the bus, at the bus stop, while you're waiting somewhere, in your office, or on your laptop or computer while you're walking. Life-changing experience it is. Please remember this, that seeds reproduce themselves. They never end. I plant a maize seed, it grows into a tree, bears fruit, there'll be more seeds in it. When you pursue a powerful idea, more ideas will be generated along the line that create wealth for you. My challenge once again goes to everyone who occupies a leadership position. It is vision that makes a leader, and vision is just about ideas. When you are too busy to think, you are too busy to make progress. You have to create solutions. The essence of leadership is service. It's problem solving. If you can't solve problems in your organization, in your home, in your nation, local council, state, you need to get out of the seat. The essence of leadership is problem solving. And if we have not developed the capacity to solve problems, there is no point leading. And may I challenge you, if you have the opportunity of voting in a leader, vote for people who have a track record of having solved problems. If somebody has not solved his own problem of poverty, he can't solve yours. If somebody has not solved his own moral problems or character problems, he can't solve yours. If he has not made progress in his mind, if he succeeded by chance, he will only succeed as a leader by chance. We need to get into leadership people who have developed the capacity to solve problems, people who can think. And of course, what we think is what we say. So listen to what that person is saying to you who wants to lead you. And if the person is a learner, growing in knowledge, a reader, if the person is a problem solver, creative thinker, then you have a leader who is likely to take you to where you want to go. Welcome to a new dimension of creativity and success.